I'm Andy Williams, or Andy the Illustrator is what I tend to be known by on Instagram. Yeah, I do animation and digital art. When I first started social media, I wanted to grow my following, but I wasn't really sure how to do it. I don't have any social media. I don't have Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. I deleted all of those things years ago because it's just not my thing. And I wasn't really sure how to grow that. And I was putting illustrations out. They were doing okay, but not great. So I was thinking, how can I grow this base? So I decided to do like an interactive story. So I'd create an illustration and then in the description have a scenario and ask people to comment what they would do in that situation. And then I'd comment back. So almost like D&D. Without realizing how Instagram worked, I was getting 300-400 comments on a picture, and then all of a sudden they were just getting boosted, into the rankings and getting more and more likes, and it was kind of like a happy accident. I mean, I've gotten to a point now where I don't necessarily do the interactive stories now because I just don't have time. Because the last time I did one, it was like 8 hours commenting back and forth, and I was like, this is over now. So instead of doing the interactive stories, my new approach is just to be more social with other artists in the community. Now my profile's gotten to a relatively decent size. You do get noticed more, and you have more opportunities to speak to artists with bigger profiles than my own. So for example, my last post did quite well. A lot of that was down to it being shared in stories by other artists. One artist shared it. He's got nearly 1 million followers. So as soon as he shared it, I knew, because my phone was pinging like crazy for a good hour. When that happens, it's almost like a wave that you can ride and take advantage of, and all of the likes and comments come in and followers. So that's kind of my new method, is just to be more social and communicate with other people on the platform. Escape the Stone Temple was my first, I guess, installment in the interactive story. And that was when I was at a time when I was kind of thinking, like, how can I get to the next level? Because I'd gotten to a certain number of followers and I was getting a certain number of likes, and it kind of just plateaued, which is okay. It's not a problem, but I was kind of getting excited about the platform and wanting to push it further. My inspiration comes from films and games. So I used to play a lot of games, but I don't get so much time now to play as many games. I like Japanese anime, like Ghibli or Ghibli. When I was younger, I didn't watch a huge amount of like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. It wasn't really my thing. I was more into like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, and so I think a lot of my style comes from that aesthetic. But as I've gotten older, I've looked at other cartoons and comics that are out there and drawn inspiration from those as well. A lot of stuff from America now, like Adventure Time. I get compared to that quite a lot. The hashtag draw this in your own style, it's something that it's not just me that uses it. A lot of artists will use it, and every now and then I will do a challenge. Sometimes if I hit a milestone, say every 5 or 10,000 followers, you do something, either a giveaway or a challenge. And what I've done in the past is I've drawn an illustration and asked other artists that follow me to kind of make their own version of it in their style. Some people, they copy it almost identically and to produce some, really cool, crazy things. But use the draw this in your own style hashtag so people can find them. But then I also use hashtag draw it like Andy, which is kind of like my own version of that. So if you search for that, that's got all of my draw this in your own style challenges in one place. So my process varies depending on how detailed a picture is, whether it's a picture of my own or if it's for somebody else. If it's for somebody else, I've got to do a little bit more work, a bit more research. But generally, I like to start off with a mood board. So I'll go on Pinterest or Google Images. Say if I'm drawing a market scene, I will make a collage of all different markets that I like. Say if it's an Asian style market I'm doing, I will go on the internet, search for that. But I don't work on my computer, I work on my iPad. So what I tend to do is I've got a big monitor that I kind of throw that up on there. I'll have my iPad in front of me, and then I will start to thumbnail out compositions and ideas. And then I'll pick 2 or 3 thumbnails that I like, and kind of do some more detailed sketches. And then I'll just go straight into drawing something, because by the time I've got to that point, I've got an idea of what sort of composition I'm looking for, what's roughly going to be in the scene. So I'll do a rough sketch, whack the opacity down, do another sketch, and I usually nail it in around 3, 4 at the most, and then I've got my clean line work. Because I don't render in a realistic style, it's quite a flat style I work in. So I get all my flats in, and then I'll start to go in with details. So add in, so if there's a leaf, like lighter bits to the tips of the leaves, and things like that. That's the bit that takes me the longest. And then when I've done that, then I do the shadows and lighting. And for me, my shadows are fairly basic. I'll just create a layer, work in black, and reduce it down to 35%, and then just draw straight over where the shadows are. And then at the end, I've got a finishing phase. It depends on, every image is different, but it might be adding some sunbeams in and with just like a soft brush. I always put birds into the scene, so I've got a set of stamps that I've made myself of birds that I can just drop in, just to make the piece feel more natural. Because if you're doing like a weird sci-fi picture, sometimes it's nice just to tie it down with something, especially if there's no people in it as well, like having birds in it, it just makes it feel like a real environment, and there's things that live there. So the reason I wanted to start producing physical items to sell on the shop was I don't make a huge amount of markup on them, so it's just brand awareness, getting the illustrations out there in front of different people. I went into a studio in town, I hadn't been there before, and they've got one of my prints up on the wall, and that was awesome to see that, because you just think, oh, what, you don't think people would buy your stuff, but they do, and it's nice. And I also buy other artists' things, and it's been able to collect things, and it's just been able to contribute to that kind of community. That's what I like doing. If you're an artist thinking about having their own merchandise, be careful about going down the trap of trying to do it all yourself, like I did initially, because you waste so much time trying to make things that the quality is not as good as it could be if it was produced somewhere that's professionally trained in making those items. Like the t-shirts, I set up a screen printing area in my loft, which it worked and it's great. And the t-shirts were good, but there's a lot of wastage because I'm learning how to screen print. When I first started doing prints, I tried to go out, buy some decent photo paper and print them on my home printer. And they were like okay, but then you feel guilty, like I can't charge someone £10 for this. It's not very good. So I'd say seek out people with the proper equipment and do it properly. And the costs aren't that much in comparison. I'd say it cost me more to buy photo paper and print at home than it does for me to go elsewhere and get my prints done. I'd say the main things that you need to be doing if you want to have good engagement with Instagram is just communicating with people and taking the time to speak to people and liking other people's work and giving back as much as you're getting. Because I think a lot of people make the mistake of, they get excited, they post it, and then they just leave it. Whereas when I post something, for the first hour or two, I'll comment back on every single person that comments, which that's good for them because they're getting to talk to me, and it's good for me because I'm keeping that communication line. But also that's helping the post, it's driving the post up the ranks it's getting more engagement. If you really want to push it, you've got to put in the work to engage with people, and also go to other artists that you like and comment on their work and like their work, rather than thinking it's all about me. I'm going to post this, I'm not going to help anyone else out, and you'll tend to find you'll grow to a certain point, but you'll be limited. Yeah, it's just about sharing, really. Conventions are something that I've only thought about doing this year. before an event, I'll just completely, the day before, I'll write it off and say, right, today is just organising, getting everything that I need and making sure that if there's anything missing, I've got time to go out and get those bits. There's just a lot of organisation that goes into it. And if you don't mind that, then it's cool. And you get to meet loads of other people and other artists. If you want to see my work, the best place is Instagram. That's where I'm most active. My end goal, I don't know. I'm not sure. Just to keep going, really create more awareness of my work, get it into more places, like Asia in particular. I've got a small following there, but I would love to kind of increase that. But again, that's something that's ongoing. Drawing it's a hobby for me. It's not, I don't count it as any kind of work because I just enjoy it. If I don't make any money from doing anything creative, I'll still do it.